855 Radio.
Keep it legal, keep it legal, keep it legal, keep it legal.
You tuned in to that medical marijuana show. 855 Radio.
Keep it legal, keep it legal, keep it legal, keep it legal.
Okay, we're out here at the Kalamazoo Area Compassion Club broadcasting at a special time after the Western Michigan University game. I did not get a chance to listen to the game. Good Lord, we got some audio issues. Good popping in and out. A little loud, it's a little soft, it's hard to tell what's going on. But we're... last night we had some computer issues, and that's the only way we get back on the air is through the computer. Anybody who knows about Microsoft's Windows operating system knows that it's fallible to some stuff, and boy, 20 minutes to boot the computer. What do you think, Denise? Wait a second, I'm turning your mics up.
You work for Apple now? You're
20 minutes to boot the computer?
Yeah.
That's not bad.
Normally I like to bang it.
Denise is having bang it. Oh, good Lord. We're all talking at the same time. What we're doing out here at the Kalamazoo Area Compassion Club is trying to highlight both the club, and we got some political stuff to talk about. But our guest on the program today is Elvy. Is Elvy over here? Did we bring her over?
Not yet. Normally you don't like to
She's mingling.
Yeah, no, I'm just trying to get a grasp on where she's at.
She's that way?
She's that way.
Out of the sun. She's relaxing in the shade.
For those who don't know does anybody know how to say Elvy's last name properly? Because I can't say it. I can never say her last name.
Rick seems to have it.
Elvy Musikka. Once again, I have no microphone because I'm not important.
No, you've got a microphone. I just
now.
Close to the mic.
It's never too much, too little.
It's crazy.
Don't get too close, Ryan. You're going to ruin it.
Past the technical stuff. So, how do you say Elvy's name again, Rick?
Musikka.
Musikka. Say that one more time.
Musaka.
Musikka. Is it Messiah? Messiah. Kevin Spitlers from the Med Joint says it's Messiah. So we'll ask Elvy the official pronunciation of her name.
One's a savior and one's a Greek spinach dish.
Yeah, I don't know.
That's really worlds apart. We got to figure.
Interesting story.
All right, so Elvy is one of the federal patients. There are several left. Irv Rosenfeld's one of them. There's a couple more that are lesser known because they're really kind of, they're sick. They're sick and they're getting older, and it's harder for them to get around. So those guys, but the federal patients, there's only four of them left in the country. We got to watch the cords here, guys. We're making all kinds of problems on the air. Please stop wrestling with the cords. No cords. No messing with the cords.
Yep. When we talk about federal patients, we're referring to a National Institutes of Health pilot program that was started many, many years ago where the government grows marijuana and provides it to those patients. Many people have seen Irv Rosenfeld with his famous tin of joints that he gets from the government every month. Elvy also receives that same stipend.
Is it a commemorative tin?
$420 for Irv Rosenfeld's tin.
Wow.
Going to a charity, it's a great idea.
Are they marked with something cool that you could sell on eBay? Because those are pretty cool.
No, they're pretty neat.
We'll have to ask her if it's commemorative.
Irv Rosenfeld told a great story about the DEA wrote a letter and said, hey, what do we do with these tins? And they said, I don't know, they're yours. So he decided to sell them, and they said, but please give us 3 for our museum. We need them. And so he sent
See, I told you.
Nice.
Wow. I didn't know anything about this museum stuff. What? We'll have to get the story from Irv. Did he say this last night? Because I was busy.
He said this on Wednesday when we had the fundraiser at the Robert C. Randall Memorial Wellness Center.
Because I did broadcast Irv from Ohm last night, and he didn't tell that part of the story. He was supposed to talk for 2 hours. He was on for about 18 minutes.
What?
Yeah.
Irv can't say his name in 18 minutes. He has a lot to say.
It seems like there would be more. Wow, was that a lot of work to go out there and record 18 minutes?
No, but he's a fantastic speaker. He's a wonderful advocate for what we do, as is Elvy. And we're very fortunate to have people like Irv that are willing to stand up on a national level and let their face be shown.
Look, Irv lives in Florida, and Elvy lives in Oregon. For them to come out here is a tremendous effort. It takes a lot of work. And so we're really thankful and grateful that they're out here promoting the medical marijuana, because they could just hide in their own little places and they've already got their medical weed.
Right.
But they're they're out here, championing our cause and helping us out. And so they're making an appearance here today at the Kalamazoo Area Compassion Club, thanks to the help of Kevin Spittler from MedJoint. And, the great people in Western Michigan. We got a chance to bring Elvy out here. So Elvy's going to be on shortly after the commercial break. And then what else have we got to talk about? These bills, the September 19th rally, and then also the passing of Renee Wolf. Good Lord.
Yeah, Renee Wolf and our friend in the community, Greg Starks, also. There are a couple of people that we've lost recently. And the bills, of course, are very prominent. September 11th saw the reintroduction of the Senate. They were listed as up for consideration this session, so we'll see how that goes.
And if we could probably get Robert over here to maybe run the video, that would be really helpful. If you guys could pass that message to our technical support people. Robert's been running around here helping us get cameras set up. If there's any way, Robert, that you could help us run the camera switching, that would be a really helpful thing. So we are doing the live show and trying to get organized, and now I'm getting a call from our board op. Let me just talk to the board op for a second, find out what's going on. Hello, Kevin. Hello? We're on the air still, Kevin. What's going on, buddy? We did start. Are you not getting us?
iHeart
Did you
is
get the
doing
6 minute
great.
delay? You don't have the 6 minute delay?
I couldn't find yours. That's a fresh model. Okay, thank you very much.
I had 6 minutes. Well, we are broadcasting, so keep. All you can do is keep going. Apparently, we have a 10-minute delay, and Kevin's not got us on the air yet.
At 10 minutes, we can swear a lot. No.
Of course, is iHeartRadio at the correct speed, so we'll just continue as if normal, and then the
No.
AM 1310
iHeart is picked up at 1310. We're not on iHeart until we hit 1310. He's hearing us on iHeart. Wow, that's really strange.
So what I said was
Why would
correct,
Kevin
then.
just
Okay.
call and ask and say he's not getting us yet? That's very odd.
Maybe Kevin's just not getting us.
I don't know.
Some people just don't
Turn
get
my
us.
mic down.
You got to hold the mic in the same place.
Ooh, this is going to be a
That's
good
why the mic
show.
stand is so helpful.
I can't reach it.
So, if you're still with us, we are having some issues. Rick, we've got a short in your mic cable, and yeah, there's the big octopus of wires here. If you touch it, everything goes. Oh, Bob says so. Bob just figured out we're not on the iHeart yet. Go
This
figure.
is our comedy hour, guys.
Does anybody know how much time will be allotted to me to make my presentation?
We're going to be talking here in a moment. We're still trying to figure out if we've even got airtime yet.
But when it does come, if I have an idea how much time I have, it'll be helpful.
About 10 minutes or so, Elvy? About 10 minutes?
Yeah, we'll get to you. Just bear with us, please. So we don't have a microphone yet for you yet, and I've got a short to issue to overcome during the commercial break. So this particular cable here, whoever's paying attention to cables, this cable's got a short in it. It's Rick's mic. It's not working properly. It needs to be replaced. It's the one that we just probably put out. I don't know. So
If there's any doctors paying attention, I got a short in this one right here, and it needs to be replaced too.
Rick's. Okay, here we go. There we go. So we got the first commercial break. Hopefully we'll be able to connect with our board op and make sure that we are actually on the air. Past that, Elvy, how do you see your name?
My name is Elvy Musikka.
Musikka. Elvy Musikka coming up on the Medical Marijuana Radio Show. Don't go away.
Steve and Denise will be right back on the Medical Marijuana Radio Show. The Medical Marijuana Radio Network.
The law offices of Targowski and Grow remind you to stand up for your rights. Always treat law enforcement with respect, but if you're detained or arrested, stand up for your rights by repeating, I respectfully invoke all of my legal and constitutional rights. I do not consent to any search or seizure. I want to remain silent, and I want to talk to my attorneys, John Targowski and Daniel Grow. Targowski and Grow have the education and experience you need to be successful in Michigan courts. Call Targowski and Grow toll-free, 800-957-1069. The law offices of Targowski and Grow, 800-957-1069. 957-1069. Introducing the Bolt, an incredible tool patients and caregivers find invaluable. It's widely known that concentrates are an effective yet expensive quick fix for pain and nausea, but oils and earwax are messy and easy to waste. The Bolt is made of titanium, just a dab, easy to use. No mess, no expensive waste. Get the Bolt of the new Thunderbolt, made in the USA, right here in Michigan. Details on how to equip your club or dispensary at the-bolt.com or call 586-540-7582. The Bolt, 586-540-7582.
If you or someone you know received a traffic ticket, has been charged with a misdemeanor, drinking and driving, criminal offense, or has had their driver's license taken away, they need an attorney. They need attorney Glenn McCandless. He's helped hundreds of people solve their legal problems over the past 16 years.
My law firm is dedicated to providing quality legal services at affordable rates.
Call us at 586-755-2900. Again, that's 586-755-2900. Call now.
Medical marijuana certification. And now you can find out everything you need to know online at getpotid.com. Or write down this toll-free number, 855-DOC-CERT. A friendly specialist will direct you to our Farmington Hills office. Medical marijuana certification. GetPotID.com. It's the key to getting your card. Information, resources, and in the end, if you're qualified, a medical card. Call toll-free right now, 855-DOC-CERT. That's 855-DOC-CERT. It's GetPotID.com. The Medical Marijuana Radio Show is the most listened to show like it in the state, #1. And there's no wonder. We take our listeners to amusement parks and give away awesome prizes just for listening. Get your product or service known to patients and caregivers and reach this group like never before. Call 810-423-2350. YouTube, Ustream, and social media in combination with 1310 WDTW and RadioWeedShow.com give you huge visibility. Affordable, effective advertising is here. Call 810-423-2350 now. Michigan Organic Solutions in Flint. Patients and caregivers joining together to provide premium quality medical marijuana, edibles, clones, and other natural products and accessories to eligible patients. Now get newly certified for just $99. $99. Or renewed for just $69. That's right, doctor renewals for just $69. Now at Michigan Organic Solutions, Dort Highway, Flint. And don't miss their Ann Arbor Medical Marijuana Conference at the Clarion in Ann Arbor next weekend. Michigan Organic Solutions. MIOrganicsolutions.com.
Medical Marijuana Radio Show.
Rick Simpson Oil, they have music.
The Rick Simpson Oil and music, and we're back. We wanted to kind of get a better idea of, at least, because a lot of people aren't familiar with who you are and where you came from and, how you became a part of this community. Could you tell that story a little bit?
And Elvy, the camera right there is on. So if you can point your face at that camera while you do it, that's great.
Well, I became a glaucoma patient in 1975.
I'm not getting audio there. The mic might be off. You might have switched it off. I'm getting no audio from her. We're going to have to use a different mic.
Sure, use this one.
There we go.
Elvy.
Okay.
There we go.
I am Elvy Musikka. I was born with congenital cataract, so I never had perfect sight. I had a bad operation in Manhattan eye and ear when I was 14 years old that left me with nothing but scar tissue and seeing light and shadows and shades, and that's it. But in 1975, I was in my early 30s, and I found out I had glaucoma. And glaucoma became a problem because none of the approved medicines worked for me, and the ones that did were so detrimental that I couldn't use no matter what. Right. Within a year, I knew that if I didn't use marijuana, I would go blind. If you can imagine being a child of the 50s, not the 60s, I'm being told you gotta do drugs. I'm sure I had an extra Manhattan and smoked an extra pack of cigarettes because I had no drug education. That brings me here to this. I found out later on that there are 5 generations that the lies and misinformation have been going on for 100 years. The first laws against cannabis, hemp, and what they called marijuana started 100 years ago next year in the state of California, and then they became reinforced federally in 1937 by the by the the Tax Act of 1937 against the wishes of the American Medical Association. By 1975. By 1969, Tim Leary had taken this to the Supreme Court and found out it was unconstitutional, but several states already had laws about marijuana, what they call marijuana. In the meanwhile, this man that had taken the presidency, whose name I refuse to put in my mouth, had totally decided that we were not. He hired his own friends, Republican conservative friends, to study marijuana so he could write how bad it was before in the hemp Indian exams, tests. In the Schaefer report now told him clearly that there was no reason to keep this illegal, that it should be decriminalized, that it was not a gateway drug, that it is not. Brothers and sisters, to have to deal with police and law enforcement over a plant that has never killed anyone. Now we are where the states have started to make their own laws. You guys started way back with Robert Randall on the Alliance for Cannabis Therapeutics. Other leaders were there like Jack Hare teaching you the history of the prohibition and making sure that many states decriminalize the use of marijuana. It's been an ongoing war, and it is based on a lie. The inheritance was left to us by a man who left the presidency in disgrace for lack of honesty. How can we continue to punish ourselves and our planet with this lie anymore and pretend we don't know that ignorance blinds us? I know that's true because when I had to start using marijuana, I was scared to death of it because I thought I was trading eyesight for brain cells. The good part of it is I was going to lose all memory, so I wouldn't remember anyway, so I went for it. I went for it. That was 37 and a half years ago. In those first 10 years, I lost my better eye to your conventional treatments and medicines to keep me away from the dreaded marijuana, which was in the meanwhile helping this eye to go through the scar tissue to let me see. My left eye became a powerful thing. When I went to court in 1988, I proved that cannabis is essential for the treatment of glaucoma, as did Robert Randall, who had already fought the federal government way back in 1976, and who had threatened to sue them if they didn't allow him to participate receiving marijuana from a farm in Mississippi that's still run at your expense, and which made him the first man. Remember, this was for glaucoma. In 1982, Irvin got it for a bone disease that he's already told you about yesterday. And in 1988, I became the first woman to get it from the federal government for glaucoma. Please listen careful. Senator Jones, don't tell my friend Rebecca and the 500 other people that you don't care about that you have a right to blind them, because you do not. God gave us this herb because it's here for the betterment of society and mankind. This is the oldest medicine we know. We don't need any more tests to know that it works. You've had all the testing and everything else you want to. And if you're not sure, check your pharmacopoeia for 100 years ago when it was prescribed freely for so many things.
Very nice. That's great. You're
Yes.
absolutely right. And
I can tell you what did not happen is you did not lose any brain cells.
Right.
You're a
That's for sure.
fantastic speaker, and if Senator Jones was listening, he should be persuaded by that, and that's what you're here to do, yes?
Yes, I am. As a matter of fact, I shouldn't even be here at all, because for 37 and a half years, as I said, I not only used it to maintain the sight of my left eye, but it improved to where instead of 2200, which is the best vision I've ever had in either eye, we got it to 160. Well, I lived in California for 5 years. Good herb, okay? I got it to 160. But however, Lately, now I live in Oregon, and they made the law so that I cannot afford to join their program and pay for my grower. My grower had to be let go because there are more patients than there are growers, and he needed to use that space for someone else since I couldn't afford to pay your fees anyway over there, okay? So what was the result of that? I used my government pot. I just gone to Florida to receive it, to carry it back to Oregon, and I triple concentrated it thinking that would help, but you cannot make apple pie out of cow manure, so it didn't work. Right. Next thing I know, I lost some of my sight while I was thinking I was medicating. My doctor got a report from Oregon about that and had me on the next plane out of here at his expense for emergency surgery to stop those pressures from driving my sight while I was settling out the arguments of who's marijuana and what marijuana I can. Remember, 37 and a half years I maintained the sight and improved it. And now there I was losing it. I came here for a little to Florida for a little surgery for 6 days to go continue my summer tours of educating everybody I can talk to. And what happened during that time? My retina went twice. I've been there for 3 or 4 surgeries since I've been down. I have not been home since July, and it's been a nightmare. But I had to come to Michigan when I heard that you were asking people to go blind unnecessarily by taking marijuana away from them. Marijuana has been proven to reduce intraocular pressure since 1971 in your records,
and
in your medical records.
And Elvy, you've actually visited some senators' offices while you've been here in Michigan. Didn't you do some lobbying while you were here? Tell us about that.
We were doing, well, we didn't meet, I didn't meet with the senators, but I did meet with representatives, and we were telling them exactly what we're telling them now, and to stop making rules that are going to hinder the patients from fully participating in a program that shows responsibility and compassion by giving the medicine that God says they should have. Stop throwing people in jail for manufacturing marijuana. There is no such person that can do that. The seed was made and can only be made by the Creator, and we should be taking it daily as we patients do in the spirit of thanksgiving.
Elvy, on the way over here, you were talking about some of the studies that have shown that marijuana is not addictive, and you listed several, 4 or 5 different studies, a Schaefer report and several others. Would you mind sharing some of that information with our listeners?
Yes, that's it. Okay, for instance, after the marijuana was legalized for medicine in the state of California, the same day as California voted it, Arizona voted it in. They were not able to implement their laws till much later, but California did. And so the government came out and told the doctors that they could not recommend marijuana without losing funding from Medicare and all the government-run programs. And there was Janet Reno shaking like a leaf with her Parkinson. And I know we send her enough education for her not to be suffering, telling you that the doctors could be sanctioned if they dare to practice their Hippocratic Oath. That was fought in court and they won. But in the meanwhile, they satisfied you by telling you that we were going to do some more research. That was the IOM. We went to several states for 2 years getting testimony from different doctors and patients and everyone else. It was actually a re-education of the Schaefer Act, of the LaGuardia report, the Indian hemp report, all of which said the same thing. At the end, the report came out in 1998 stating that marijuana is not. Please remember this, parents, because I know you worry about your children. It is not a gateway drug. Most people who tried marijuana tried nicotine and alcohol long before they even heard of marijuana.
That's it.
So don't kid yourself. And those things are harder to get for children than marijuana because you got illegality going for you. And that's a good way to provide a black market. Believe me, the real drug dealers, they don't check the kids' IDs. They could care less.
And the state doesn't register them for $20 or $100. And I know you mentioned that you're having difficulty getting registered in Oregon. They've upped the fees from $20 per year to $100 per year.
For me, it would be $100 for
also a
$200 for most of them.
A $50 fee to register your caregiver, is that correct?
Correct.
Okay.
I could no longer afford either one, so I left my space. You're also trying to make it so patients can only, caregivers can only grow for one person. That's ridiculous. There will always be more people needing the medicine than there are caregivers. Please have compassion. Please have responsibility and let people live. You do not have the right to demand blindness and suffering from patients. When Judge Young, the head of the administrative law judge for the DEA listened to our complaints around the country, and this judge concluded that marijuana in its natural form is one of the most benign therapeutically active substances known to man. He said that you could die from eating many of the foods you engage in daily, and he mentioned that if you ate 10 raw potatoes, so I don't know why you do that, you would definitely have a toxic reaction that you'll never have from marijuana. It said, he also said that
potatoes.
for his agency and the government to maintain this prohibition was unreasonable, arbitrary, and capricious. The DEA never listened to him. They fought it and went to another court hearing to say they didn't have to listen to their own judge. So, I guess we just wanted to throw money away and put a judge there. That judge died of cancer a few years later. You believe that?
We got
He's
a fire.
our friend.
We got a fire underneath Elvy here. Boy, she's got a mouthful, I tell you.
Oh, she knows all the good stuff.
She's got every detail from like 50 years ago.
No, that's what you got to remember. These lies began 100 years ago, and it's time to end them because ignorance blinds us, all of us. You got 5 generations of people being misinformed and lied, and lies and misinformation add up to a nation incapable of making rational decisions for all of us.
Well,
so you got to change that. Go to your legislators, know where they stand on it. If they support them, put them in office like we just did the Attorney General in Oregon. That's what you do. You find out who's your friend and you push and you help and you make sure they get in office. And whoever doesn't understand that they don't have a right to torture you, and it is torture. Terrorizing to me is when I know I'm losing my sight like I did for 6 weeks just 2 months ago and wondered if it would ever come back. Now that was real terror.
Right.
So stop terrorizing patients and let it be. You have laws in Michigan. Let them thrive. Let them be part of the solution. Stop adding problems. Thank you.
Wow. How's your eyesight now, Elvy? Is everything going okay? You had the retinal detachment and then
Twice I had that surgery. And I was supposed to be, I almost had to call you last Thursday and say I can't go. I just had another surgery today.
Right.
But my doctors know how important my work is, how important it is for you to know that you don't need to blind people unnecessarily. So because of these hearings, because Becca asked me to come, here I am. And that's my message. You do not have the right to blind us. Please understand that ignorance does just that to all of us. Ignorance, 5 generations. It's got to come to an end. There is no war on drugs. There is a war on us. There are more and more killer drugs out in your pharmacopoeia today than there ever have been.
That's correct.
And yet the one thing that's never killed anyone is illegal. You need to change that for good, for once and for all. We got to end the federal prohibition for the simple reason that as long as there is someone saying that we're criminals.
There we go. I got you back again. Sorry about that.
Okay, well, the truth of the matter is it is your responsibility to have compassion and to make sure that there are no more bad laws written against good people. Bad laws always hurt good people. Stop putting impediments in the laws that keep the patients from their marijuana. And the federal government needs to end the prohibition because it's a lie left by Mr. Nixon. And did I say that word? Sorry.
It's hard to say that word with the N. That's the N word. That's the bad word.
Yeah, that is the big N word. Oh, yeah. So I don't use it because, try not to, because actually I can't imagine that we're living under a lie he left as a legacy, and we have criminalized 40 million people. We arrest almost 2,000 every day, people in our country, in the land of the free, where you can't even get a job if you're not willing to be in front of a stranger. Do you know what a ridicule that makes us abroad? We're the land of the free, not the land of the free. There is no nation that jails as many people as we do. And so many of them are people who do not need to be in jail. People with drug problems, they need help. They need to be known. Health is important here. It needs to be treated as health issues. Those who need marijuana as medicine, they're not drug addicts. In fact, most of the people in Oregon that are in the program are seniors who soon found out they don't have a medicine like I do. Wow. I don't have one of those full of medicines for my cholesterol and for the high blood pressure. Nothing. Only cannabis for all of us. Yes, thank you, Lord.
Wow. I don't know what to
Good
say.
for
I just
you.
feel like I left church.
I want to
We got to
be.
go
I
to
want
break.
to be
We got to
her.
go to break. We'll be right back with more of the Medical Marijuana Radio Show. Stay with us.
Got something to say? Call now toll free. 855-MMM Radio. The Medical Marijuana Radio Network.
Michigan Organic Solutions in Flint. Patients and caregivers joining together to provide premium quality medical marijuana, edibles, clones, and other natural products and accessories to eligible patients. Now get newly certified for just $99. $99. Or renewed for just $69. That's right, doctor renewals for just $69. Now at Michigan Organic Solutions, Dort Highway, Flint. And don't miss their Ann Arbor Medical Marijuana Conference at the Clarion in Ann Arbor next weekend. Michigan Organic Solutions. MIOrganicsolutions.com. The law offices of Targowski and Grow remind you to stand up for your rights. Always treat law enforcement with respect, but if you're detained or arrested, stand up for your rights by repeating, I respectfully invoke all of my legal and constitutional rights. I do not consent to any search or seizure. I want to remain silent, and I want to talk to my attorneys, John Targowski and Daniel Grow. Targowski and Grow have the education and experience you need to be successful in Michigan courts. Call Targowski and Grow toll-free, 800-957-1069. The law offices of Targowski and Grow, 800-957-1069.
If you or someone you know received a traffic ticket, has been charged with a misdemeanor, drinking and driving, criminal offense, or has had their driver's license taken away, they need an attorney. They need attorney Glenn McCandless. He's helped hundreds of people solve their legal problems over the past 16 years.
My law firm is dedicated to providing quality legal services at affordable rates.
Call us at 586-755-2900. Again, that's 586-755-2900. Call now.
When opening a marijuana-related business or club, it's vital that you obtain expert legal advice right away. 14-year legal veteran and respected field expert Denise Policella founded Cannabis Attorneys of Mid-Michigan to provide focused expertise to the developing industry. She's uniquely suited to help your business grow and remain open. And with attorney Timothy McDonald, now provides premier representation on criminal charges, raids, and asset forfeitures. Click on smallbusinesslegal.net or call 517-546-1181. That's 517-546-1181. Hey, Metro Detroit, come to Nature's Alternative, a clean, safe, secure cannabis provisioning center on the Grosse Pointe Detroit border on Mack Avenue. Nature's Alternative has a professional, knowledgeable, and friendly staff helping patients and caregivers daily with a complete line of medibles, concentrates, topicals, and raw flowers. You'll get only the best medical-grade cannabis produced by Michigan growers and caregivers at Nature's Alternative. Open 7 days a week. A proud supporter of the National Patient Rights Association. Details at naturesalternativeclinic.com or call 313-885-0000. That's 313-885-0000.
1310 WDTW, Detroit's Progressive Talk. The Medical Marijuana Radio Show.
Little black submarines, operator, please put me back on the line. Told my girl I'd be back, operator, please. This is wrecking my mind.
Somehow, oh boy, we got shorts. We're back on the Medical Marijuana Radio Show from the Kalamazoo Area Compassion Club with special guest Elvy Musikka.
Musikka.
I'm never going to get that right, Elvy.
You gotta think of music.
Yes,
Music.
Musikka. There you go. I like
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
That's a good memory technique. So, we got out here as a part of the people who came out to the Compassion Club to talk to us today. Gersh Avery. Look, I'm listening to the iHeart, making sure we were there. It's been very tenuous getting on out here. There's been this awful delay issue that we're trying to overcome. Look, we're on the cutting edge of technology, bringing to you the signal back from Kalamazoo. Sometimes it's not always going to be perfect. Remember back in the CNN days when the satellite transmissions weren't always working? That's what we're working with here. Except it's our own internet version of
Our
the satellite.
satellite's on the fritz.
That's right. And we got the satellite on the fritz. So, Mike and Kevin, thank you for bearing with us. If you're listening on the air and you've got a little bit of pause here and there, we appreciate you sticking around because what we're talking about is really very important stuff. Gersh Avery, also known as Peanut Butter, yes?
Peanut butter, yes, sir.
Can you tell us about what you wanted to say to Senator Jones in responding to what Elvy just said about marijuana and the bill?
One thing in particular, I may misunderstand this, but I understand that you have a medical condition that's associated with diabetes that causes pain in the feet.
We're talking about Rick Jones. Rick Jones we're talking about.
Rick Jones, yes. And I understand. My information may be wrong, but I'm going to continue talking, assuming that you are experiencing this condition. This condition it feels kind of like you're standing on porcupines, and there's basically not a whole lot that our doctors can currently do with it. Apparently, they can tone it down somewhat with some heavy-duty drugs. Personally, I'd like to refrain from being around those kinds of substances. They cloud my mind out too much. But with the topical application I work with, we're turning the standing on porcupines, we're turning that pain off in about 45 seconds. But what's more remarkable even is that there is feeling that's returned to the affected area. Those areas are usually numb. Gradually the circulation shuts down, and then they start talking about chopping off toes and feet and stuff like that. It's a progressive thing. But for the time being, in 45 seconds, we can turn off the pain and turn the feeling back on. Now, I understand that you wouldn't want to do something like that for yourself, sir. I understand that because it's partially to do with marijuana. And I know that you think that's a very vile thing, and, sir, you're more than welcome to keep that pain for yourself as long as you would like. But please don't force every other patient with that same condition to do likewise. Let them make their own choice for themselves if they wish to turn their pain off and have feeling return in 45 seconds. People should be able to do that for themselves if they wish to. And did I mention there's no high involved in that process at all?
So there's no psychoactive effect. You're not getting stoned.
No psychoactive effect.
And you're getting a cure. You're getting a fix.
It's not a cure. You have to reapply it about every 10 to 12 days for most people. Days. Not hours.
Right.
Days. One application every. Now, I can understand why you would want to keep your pet pain around, but please don't force everyone else with this condition to do likewise. That's all I wanted to tell them.
Wow. Well, that's a very poignant message. I mean, and a personal one, right directly to the senator.
I would be happy to help him if I could comfortably do that without worrying about going to jail.
Well, you send him to Tom French, get him certified. To send him someplace, get him certified, and
Yes.
and then get him some topical oil. What's wrong with that?
Any of these senators or congressmen that would like to double check what I'm saying, I'm not joking. Just 45 seconds, 60 seconds.
Look,
It'll tell you I'm not lying.
I first met Gersh at the Brighton Area Compassion Club, and Gersh had some topical oil at their very first meeting. Do you remember this, Gersh? It was the very first meeting you had. You brought some topical oil out, and I checked it out, and I was like, wow, I didn't even know that this existed. Like Gersh is like, do you have some pain? Where's it at? And I'm like, well, I've got the lower back pain. He rubbed some stuff on the lower back there, and I was like, it wasn't that long from the time. It was definitely a noticeable effect. I wasn't looking for an effect. I was trying to literally use an objective point of view. That stuff worked.
Yeah,
I mean, it soaks right in. Kevin, you were talking about using the stuff in your bath.
That was actually Gersh was talking about actually putting like a teaspoon or tablespoon right in your hot bath water.
Like a quarter teaspoon. Quarter teaspoon, maybe half a teaspoon, right in your bath water, hot bath water, and maybe a couple of drops of bath soap just to help it disperse into the bath. If you lay down in that, it opens up your breathing passageways almost instantly, and it's nicely anti-inflammatory.
I'm going to try that when I get home tonight.
Lung tissues goes down.
Look.
And we've got a lot of upper respiratory things that are going on across our state right now. And I would really like to be able to get this out to just anybody, but I can't do that because there's laws in the way because it has a trace of cannabis in it. And that makes it a vicious, vile thing, even though nobody's getting high on it. But it seems like it's able to do a lot of nice things for people. And I'd like to be able to get it, but I'm scared, actually, because of these people who have an agenda to punish me for trying to help people.
Did you notice, Gersh, this week that there was an article, I just noticed this on Safermish, there was an article published about them going after the Cadillac doctor, was it Triple M?
Something about it, they were overprescribing or something?
No, I think this is the AG's new angle. This is Attorney General Bill Schuette's new angle on punishing patients by trying to prevent their access through the doctor's certification process.
Records or something, I think it mentioned something.
They're punishing them through the AMA or through the Michigan, the license. Lara is doing it, and through the public health code.
Speaking about the licensing board, are you all aware that
you get a mic?
every state has to what the pharmaceutical companies provide for you. That's a Schedule 3. Anybody can write you a prescription for that, which I recommend. Anyone needs marijuana, get a prescription for Marinol. In case the cops knock at your door, you can show them that a doctor knows you need the THC, the part that even says makes you high, okay? But the point is, that's not necessarily what we're talking about here. What we're talking about is that you should have the right to medicate with what works for you and decide with your doctors what is right for you. And
We don't have you on mic, Gersh. We need a mic for you.
It's so unique from one person to the next. Everybody is so unique in what works best for them in their particular system with the various strains and all of that. It's a highly individualized thing in a highly specialized area.
It takes a lot of understanding about what the cannabinoids are, what the terpenes are. Gersh is really, really knowledgeable in this stuff. Is there anything you can share with us, Gersh, about those different effects of the different components of marijuana? It's not just THC.
Well,
there's the CBDs, CBNs.
Beta-phenylene has gotten to be real interesting. It's the compound that makes the taste and smell of black pepper, and that appears to actually modify the way the various systems in the body function in dosage levels as small as 5 micrograms.
Wow.
5 micrograms. And it has an effect on the metabolic systems of the body. We actually self-medicate ourselves with cannabinoids by the application of the spices that we administer to our food. Those are biologically active, systemically active doses that we are administering to our food, and we all subconsciously regulate our systems via these compounds, even though we don't even know it. It is constantly going on. So fortunately, this cannabinoid exists in cannabis. It's one of the painkillers. And it was actually looked, because it exists in other herbs, it was actually looked at by the FDA. And this was a cannabinoid that was approved by the FDA as a food additive.
Oh.
I think it's really interesting, Gersh, that you mentioned the different substances that are found in marijuana, because one of the main arguments you're going to hear from mainstream, not only politicians, but mainstream medicine is, well, we haven't studied it yet, and there are so many things about it we don't know. I think the funny thing is that if they took 5 minutes to study it or even read what has been studied in the past,
Give me a beat for
they
60
would,
seconds.
yeah, that they would find out how beneficial it is, and that would undo their argument. And what I was asking Elvy during the break was how she discovered how marijuana could be beneficial to her. She mentioned that she had lived with this condition most of her life, and she was starting to go blind, and then she discovered marijuana. I'd really like to just hear more about that, and I think so would our listeners.
First of all, let's straighten one thing. I discovered that I had glaucoma in my 30s as a result of childhood surgeries for cataracts. But a doctor told me within a year, because he could see I was a young woman working at a bank, trying to raise my children, having a beautiful life. And he told me, honey, if you don't start smoking marijuana, you are going to go blind. I question his sanity because I was ignorant, as are all of us in the last 5 generations. That's why we cannot make rational decisions about this. Our endocannabinoid system is not satisfied. Therefore, we do not have, those who don't smoke do not have complete understanding of their own judgment level. That's why they keep making the wrong decisions. Look at the record and you'll see what I'm talking about. But anyway, marijuana is something that every patient that entered the program I'm in, that the first 2, the man and the woman first in there were for glaucoma. Every one of us had to show FDA, DEA, and NIDA that cannabis is the most efficient, the most reliable, and the safest part of our treatment. And we had to do that with extensive records that these doctors weren't even allowed to keep, but did anyway because we told them we're desperate, we are using it, we're going to go to jail sooner or later, and we need our court records in the courtroom as mine were.
Wow.
Excellent. It was a doctor. That's fascinating.
Well, as this issue progresses and we get into this in the legislature, we got to talk about September 19th. It's this Wednesday. We're meeting down on the Capitol steps this Wednesday. The rally happening. It's the last stand for medical marijuana. Yes, is that what we're calling it? The last stand. Is everybody going? I hear nothing. Nobody's talking. What's going on? I'm going. Rick?
Yeah, sure.
Rick's not sure yet. Denise, are you going?
I'm trying. I need to make sure that my schedule's clear.
We'll be right back with more on the Medical Marijuana Radio Show coming up.
on the Medical Marijuana Radio Show. The Medical Marijuana Radio Network.
If you are a carded Michigan medical marijuana patient with a need for safe access but have reservations about privacy and discretion, there is an answer. It's the Ant Farm. The Ant Farm is Metro Detroit's trusted professional mobile transfer service. Write this toll-free number down, 888-369-3320. Lab-tested, mold and pesticide-free. It's the Ant Farm's convenience you'll try, but quality standards, privacy, and friendly professionals that will bring you back. The Ant Farm comes to you. Call for discreet details right away. 888-369-3320. Law offices of Targowski and Grow remind you to stand up for your rights. Always treat law enforcement with respect, but if you're detained or arrested, stand up for your rights by repeating, I respectfully invoke all of my legal and constitutional rights. I do not consent to any search or seizure. I want to remain silent, and I want to talk to my attorneys, John Targowski and Daniel Grow. Targowski and Grow have the education and experience you need to be successful in Michigan courts. Call Targowski and Grow toll-free, 800-957-1069. The law offices of Targowski and Grow, 800-957-1069.
If you or someone you know received a traffic ticket, has been charged with a misdemeanor, drinking and driving, criminal offense, or has had their driver's license taken away, they need an attorney. They need attorney Glenn McCandless. He's helped hundreds of people solve their legal problems over the past 16 years.
My law firm is dedicated to providing quality legal services at affordable rates.
Call us at 586-755-2900. Again, that's 586-755-2900. Call now.
Introducing the Bolt, an incredible tool patients and caregivers find invaluable. It's widely known that concentrates are an effective yet expensive quick fix for pain and nausea, but oils and earwax are messy and easy to waste. The Bolt is made of titanium, just a dab, easy to use. No mess, no expensive waste. Get the Bolt and the new Thunderbolt, made in the USA, right here in Michigan. Details on how to equip your club or dispensary at the-bolt.com or call 586-540-7582. The Bolt, 586-540-7582. When opening a marijuana-related business or club, it's vital that you obtain expert legal advice right away. 14-year legal veteran and respected field expert Denise Policella founded Cannabis Attorneys of Mid-Michigan to provide focused expertise to the developing industry. She's uniquely suited to help your business grow and remain open. And with attorney Timothy McDonald, now provides premier representation on criminal charges, raids, and asset forfeitures. Click on smallbusinesslegal.net or call 517-546-1181. That's 517-546-1181. Hey, Metro Detroit, come to Nature's Alternative, a clean, safe, secure cannabis provisioning center on the Grosse Pointe Detroit border on Mack Avenue. Nature's Alternative has a professional, knowledgeable, and friendly staff helping patients and caregivers daily with a complete line of medibles, concentrates, topicals, and raw flowers. You'll get only the best medical-grade cannabis produced by Michigan growers and caregivers at Nature's Alternative. Open 7 days a week. A proud supporter of the National Patient Rights Association. Details at naturesalternativeclinic.com or call 313-885-0000. That's 313-885-0000.
1310 WDTW, Detroit's Progressive Talk.
So we're back out at the Kalamazoo Area Compassion Club. I hope we're still on the 1310. I think they've been hanging with us despite our sketchy signal. It's been popping in and out. I've been monitoring on the iHeart. Got to thank Kevin and Mike and those guys for sticking with us. We're with Elvy Musikka. I said it right this time, did I?
Yeah, you did.
Elvy wanted to close with a closing thought. Tell us what you got, Elvy.
Listen, it is really important that all of you, whether you're a legislator or just a citizen or whoever else, to understand that at no level can you afford this prohibition one more day. I'm talking environmentally. Substituting this plant with 50,000 chemical products has been really detrimental to our immune system. One in every 3 of us is expected to have some form of cancer, and you know the other problems. Financially, it's costing you close to $1 trillion to keep the war on us going, and it is a war on us. There is no way that this can be accepted constitutionally. The minute you have to expose yourself to be in front of a stranger, to get a job, you are throwing away your constitutional right to be protected within your own body. There is no, and morally, you cannot call yourself a Christian, a Buddhist, or anyone that has any spiritual value if you believe that patients should be tortured by being denied access to the Creator's work. In other words, end this blasphemy on the Creator's work and save $1 trillion and save your Constitution, save your planet, and save yourselves. Thank you.
Wow, thank you, Elvy.
Amen,
and good
sister.
luck to you and your endeavor across the country. Where are you appearing next? You could add another speaking engagement real quick.
I gotta get back to the University of Miami on Tuesday, and then I'm going back to Oregon. I imagine we'll be working on several initiatives that are going on in the Northwest, and you all need to get involved and help the people who have put distinct measures on for the voting of the people and get the laws changed. Send a message to Washington. We're done with the prohibition. It's 100 years old, and we can no longer afford it at any level.
Wow.
Excellent.
Well said.
We'll be giving you a call.
For sure.
Yeah, you are a true pioneer in this industry, and every one of us look up to you, just every one of us. And you are, like I said, amazing pioneer in this industry and this medicine and how it helps so many people.
Thank you, but I
Thank
get
you.
all my energy and my information from all of you. I have traveled to every single state. I've been many times in your state of Michigan. I've debated with Peterson, your drug czar at the time, and many other people.
Awesome.
So, yeah, I've done every state, and all of it with one purpose, to educate people, because I think Thomas Jefferson was right. Enlighten the people generally, and tyranny and oppression of both mind and body will vanish like evil spirits at the dawn of day.
Wow. just like she's read it out of a book. I mean, really.
You told me that in your newsletters right out of Michigan.
Can you introduce the folks from the Compassion?
Yes, we got the Kalamazoo Area Compassion Club. Who we got sitting over here?
Hi, I'm Terry Tarver, Director of the Kalamazoo Area Compassion Club, and I want to thank everybody who came out here and participated today. Kevin, good friend of mine, helping us get this all rolling. We really appreciate everybody being compassionate, and from the bottom of our hearts, thank you so much for coming out.
How can people in the area, if they're unfamiliar, how can they get involved with the Compassion Club? What do they do? Is there a number they can call? How can we get involved?
Yeah, our phone number is 375-4811. Area code 269, and we're on the web, Kalamazoo Area CompassionClub.com, right?
Wow. That's okay. We'll figure it out. We'll put a link up for you. We'll put a link on the website so they can find out how to get a hold of you. What do you got going on out here today? You've got a celebration happening. It's not just us sitting out here inside your parking lot. I mean, what's happening over there?
Yeah, this is a membership appreciation gathering. It's a bunch of like-minded people that really appreciate the work and the effort that everybody puts in to promote our cause.
Okay, so what do you got? Some games, and what's happening with the Appreciation Day?
Everybody appreciates it, but the pig.
You got a pig roast going.
Oh, and it's some good pig too. Awesome, all kinds of food here, and everybody's just having a good time. Yeah, some games and.
Do you guys do this annually? You guys do this every year? Or?
Yeah, we do this once a year. And our regular meetings, if anybody's interested, is every second and fourth Tuesday of the month from 7 till 9 o'clock p.m. at Charlie's Place on Red Arrow Highway.
We thank you so much for having us out here today and providing an opportunity to have Elvy and people speak about this very important subject. We wouldn't exist with your Compassion Club or Kevin's clinic, any of this stuff. None of us. Oh, he's choking a clinic. He says it's not a clinic. He says, "Hey, check the clinic. It's a center. It's the center." Tell him, Kevin. If you
I do not work with doctors.
What?
Said I do not work with doctors.
Right.
No, we are the Med Joint Community Compassion Center, and I tell you what, I do have a really cool, exciting announcement. Actually, we've been doing a food drive since November, and I tell you what, so far I think we're at 6,820 pounds of food, and our best
6,000 pounds of food.
Yeah, our best month so far was 1,100 pounds of food. We just counted up everything we got now, and we're looking at over 2,000 pounds of food this month.
That's a ton of food.
That is literally
a ton.
That's going to boost us up to almost 9,000 pounds of food at our goal of 10,000 pounds. We got one more month to get it. We're pretty excited. The members that have stepped up, and that's been really cool, being the community involvement and all that cool stuff, and with the MDA. And
what'd you raise for MDA? How much you get?
We raised over $2,600 for the MDA back in April, and they actually invited us on to go on to the Labor Day telethon show of strength. The old Jerry Lewis telethon everybody knows so well about and watched it all these years.
Right.
They invited us to go on there and tell them about how important it is to us to get involved with the MDA, and how our members that do suffer from multiple sclerosis and muscular dystrophy and disorders like that, and how cannabis improves their life and their better quality of life.
There you go. So we're going to be broadcasting for an additional hour on the air here on the stream only. Hopefully, we're still on at 1310. We've only got seconds left. We're not doing the contest today because we don't have any phones out here. But I'll tell you what, we're going to do the contest next week in studio, and then
phone home.
Who we got? We got Judge Gray in the studio next weekend. He's doing his that's going to be an awesome thing. Elvy's all about Judge Gray. Yeah. He's running on the vice presidential ticket to Gary Johnson, which is the Libertarian Party ticket, I believe, for president. Awesome that'll be next weekend in studio at 1310. And then following that, we're doing Cedar Point on September 29th. That's Saturday, September 29th. So we're going to give some guys here at the Compassion Club. We'll have a random drawing. We'll give a pair of tickets away. How does that sound, guys? We'll bring somebody with us to Cedar Point in 2 weeks, folks. If you want to get tickets, go to RadioWeedShow.com. Thanks for coming. We'll see you next week on the Medical Marijuana Radio Show on 1310 WDTW.
The Medical Marijuana Radio Show and RadioWeedShow.com are trademarks. Copyright 2011.
The comments, ideas, and opinions expressed in the preceding program are those of the show participants only. Nothing stated in this program reflects the ideas, opinions, or beliefs of this radio station and or Clear Channel Radio.